So yeah, this section is generally sections 1 through 13, but Professor Mushtaq and I are giving the same lectures. We're both uploading our videos. We're following the same material. We'll share homeworks, etc. So don't worry about it. You can come to either one of them. You can view either one of them on the links if you'd like. I meant to change that background for today. Oh well, something to look forward to Monday. So this is Lecture 3. Lecture 3 is going to be about strings. So before we get into any of the other stuff, let's take a quick look. This is Mr. String. Mr. String walks into a bar. He asks the bartender for, let's say, a soda, just to be cool and collected. And the bartender says, "Mr. String, we don't allow your kind in here," and kicks him out. Well, Mr. String, he doesn't like that. He's pretty thirsty. He needs a soda. So he takes and he kind of ties himself up into a big loop. Then he takes his ends and kind of splays them out a little bit. And then Mr. String walks back into the bar. Mr. String says, "Bartender, please give me a soda." And the bartender says, "Aren't you that piece of string that I just kicked out of here a few seconds ago?" And the string says to him, "No, I'm afraid not." Sorry, okay there. Okay, and that, of course, is blocked by the other panel, so we'll put it down here. Afraid not. A little pun. Puns are always good for you. You should learn all the puns you can. They're very punny. Anyway, that's my joke for today. A lot of my jokes involve inanimate objects or creatures getting kicked out of bars. Maybe we'll have another one in a little bit. And by the way, this is a play on afraid not. All right. So let's get started with our housekeeping stuff for now. I don't think I need that whiteboard anymore today, but we will find out. So housekeeping. How to hide pop-up in this new WebEx interface? I don't know. I'm dying with this WebEx interface. I should be able to lock everybody's screens onto mine, but as soon as somebody new comes into the room, it locks onto theirs. So it swaps me out and locks onto them. So, please keep playing with it. If anybody gets an idea, let me know. Okay, so a few things for today. Submittee is back. We found out what the issue was. If you know anything about WebSockets, we were trying to use WebSockets, or the Submittee team was trying to use WebSockets to make things refresh better for you, so that your TAs and your mentors would be able to find you better in like the homework queues. But when they installed them, they worked awfully well over the summer. They worked awfully well over the spring. But when we got up to you guys, and there are like 675 of you, give or take, there's about let's see how many there are on right now. 258 of you on right now. When we got up to those types of numbers, it turns out that they're not as efficient as forcing people to do manual refreshes, and they were taking down our system. So we think we have this solved. We think we have it solved for now, and we're very hopeful that for the rest of the semester things will be okay. We are still keeping an eye on everything, but for now everything's good. We're back to the way we were operating. When you go to labs, go to your TA's lab. It should be, or go to your TA's WebEx room. I showed you how to find that. It's on the discussion forum, so you should be able to find that. When you go to office hours, go to Submittee, go to the office hour queue, sign in. I think it's, let's see, if I go to Submittee. All right, if you come into Submittee and you come in here to the office hours queue, when we have office hours going on, there will be an office hours called office hours, capital O, space, hours, capital H. And then the password to get into it is, I believe, office hours, and it's our intention to keep it the same for the entire time. But if we do change it, it will be posted to the discussion forum, so you should be able to find it. Okay. No labs this week. That means if you had something scheduled for Wednesday or Tuesday, this should be Tuesday. This is Monday. All day, little time warp around RPI. If you have something in your schedule for Tuesday or Wednesday, that's your lab session. Lab sessions are not being held this week. Since today is Monday, there's no Tuesday in this week. We can't have half of you on one lab and half of you on another lab. It's just a nightmare. So we will not have labs this week. We have a FAQ in the discussion forum. We're going to try to keep it up to date with the most common questions. Please check it for important notes like the office hour Q password and for how to turn in your homeworks and labs. Both of those are answered in the discussion forum, so it's a good exercise for you to go out and do it. Basically, lab 0 isn't due, is due now, but we're going to give you credit as long as you turn it in no later than the beginning of your lab 1 class. You can turn it in at any office hours or at the start of your next lab next week. Please don't wait that long to get lab 0 done. The stuff you're working on today is going to be required by it. And don't worry about lecture exercises 2 from Thursday, lecture exercise 3 from the day, 4 from next Thursday, or even 5 from a week from yesterday, next Monday. We're not going to make you submit anything until you've gone through lab 1 where we walk you through the process. Okay? So you will go through lab 1. During lab 1, you will submit lecture exercises 2, and then you'll have some period of time, probably Thursday night at midnight, to turn in the rest of the lecture exercises. But we'll let you know. They will all be available then. Nothing is due until you go to lab 1. Lab 0 is due. Nothing is due except lab 0 until you've attended lab 1. But please work on the lecture exercises so that when we open it up, you can get them in. You can get them all 100% on them, and all of that stuff will be handled during lab 1. If you have any more questions after that, we'll be happy to answer them. But don't stress about this. This is not. We've gotten. This is like the 7th, 8th, 10th class that we've gone through using Submiti for lecture exercises. It's not that hard. We'll walk you through it. Lab 1 will answer most of your questions, and the discussion forum will handle the rest. Okay. The final thing I want to throw out there is that I just jerked my headphone cord out of my computer because I talk with my hands. The last thing I want to toss out to you guys, we're getting a lot of duplicate questions, which is great. I mean, you guys are asking questions because you're interested in the class. We like to answer them. The problem is that we're getting kind of backed up. So what we're going to ask you to do, and it was always the intention to use the discussion forum in this mode, but if you have questions about the class, if you have questions about when homework's due, if you have questions about general questions about how to do homework, don't post your code, but if you're saying, I'm getting this error, you can post the error. You can post short snippets, half a dozen, 10 lines of code, that's fine. If you have questions about when labs are, if you have questions, those types of questions that you're emailing us with, please put those in the discussion forum. And more importantly, please check the discussion forum before you ask them. We have a FAQ there now. We'll continue to keep that updated. There are a lot of questions that are answered outside of the FAQ that didn't quite graduate to the FAQ yet. So most of your questions are probably answered. If you do have a question that's not answered, posting it there will allow us to answer it once, and then everybody can see it. And that'll, if some of you probably have gotten some mail from me over the last day and a half answering questions that you asked me last week. And I am really just that backed up right now. Submiti being down added to a lot of the effort we had to put in last week. So, if you can help us out by using the discussion forum, you will get faster answers. You are allowed, encouraged, appreciated when you answer questions that you know the answers to. And if there's something wrong, I read every question and every answer that's posted. I'll correct it. This will allow us to move faster and allow your friends and yourselves to operate a little more efficiently and get things finished better or answered faster. All right, let me take a quick look through here. Awesome. I'm not seeing. No, for Lab 0, don't just talk to your lab TA or go to office hours. Okay. The TAs have pretty much, we give them a wide range of, a lot of leeway on how they operate their labs. They may have some way particular that they want you to turn it in. But what we've asked them to do is if anybody comes to office hours and shows them in office hours their completed Lab 0, to either mark them off or to post in our own private forum that person needs to get marked off, and we will do all the checkpoints. So please, don't email us your screenshots or anything. Please contact your TA or go to office hours or show up at Lab 1 with it ready to be evaluated. It's the most efficient way to do it. The TAs only have 60 students each, roughly, maybe 90, depending on how many sections they have. So they're better able to keep track of all these. All right. Any questions before I kind of move on to the next phase of our class today? Whoa. He's not even going to contact me. We have a gradable and submittee. It's one that you can't see because you're not submitting to it, and they just go in and check you off. So if they've told you you're all done, you're all good. The TA manages the grades. In fact, the TAs manage a lot of the grades in the course, and then we generate the rubrics and the tests, and then check up on them. But they have, if they've told you that's good, it's in there. We'll be running something called Rainbow Grades in a couple of weeks, and then you'll actually be able to see it and verify it. But that's all that needs to be done. Okay. Okay.